Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Two Brothers channel on YouTube. I'm one brother.
And I'm the second brother.
Yeah, man, I'm rocking my hat today, you know.
Yeah, you're looking cool, Mr. Phil. You're looking cool.
Looking cool. I said, cool. Nah, man. You always look better. Don't worry, don't worry. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about the power of principles.
Wow.
Power of principles.
Wow.
Myself and Mr. Clay have been encouraging people that watch us to start reading. Okay. And just in case you've not seen those videos that we've spoken about reading, read definite books that you have to read. Think and Grow Rich. Magic of Thinking Big. How to Win Friends and Influence People. Then you can read The Richest Man in Babylon, which Mr. Clay recommended. One of my favorites as well. However, the first three, if you don't read any book on earth, read those three. Because in those three are the principles that you would need for changing your life, for empowering yourself. Now, one of the things we're talking about today is principles. And I shared a story with Mr. Clay yesterday. But before I go into that story, let Mr. Clay have a word.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hearing some crackling on your side, but I'm not sure where that's coming from. But
crackling,
yes. So maybe it's wind or something. But anyway, principles.
Okay, might be the fan that I've got here to cool me down.
Yeah. I think that's what. Yeah, that's better. That's much better. So the powerful thing about principles, like what I've just done there, is everybody can hear that noise, and nobody knows what it is. You know, principles are like the elephant in the room. You know, you can dress up, you can dress it up, you can dance around it, you can not address it, but everybody knows it's there. You know, like Jim Rohn always says, you know, a principle, there's a principle, or there's laws and principles, right? Laws and principles, and the law of gravity. But I will let Mr. Phil tell you what he means by principle. Don't let me define it for him. I'll let him define it. Mr. Phil, back to you.
Thank you very much. See, I hope the sound will not.
Yeah, it's still there, but
it's still there.
But we know it's the fan now.
You know it's the fan?
Yes.
Okay. But is it terrible or just bearable?
It's just rattling.
I wonder if it's the fan or if it's the stand that I'm using.
No, it's not. It's not moving. It's just the sound is coming through like. But
definitely the fan. It's definitely the fan. Okay, let me switch on the fan. Does that make a difference?
Yeah, it's gone.
Okay, and now I have to take this off because I'll be sweating. Okay, right. Let's go back to principles. The important thing that a lot of people get wrong is that they mistake methods for principles. My daughter, she's 21 years old now. Amazing. I can't believe my daughter is 21 years old. Beautiful 21-year-old. And one of the things, we have discussions, and one of the things she told me is that, she said, Dad, you used to get on my last nerves. I'm like, what do you mean? She said, you used to get on my last nerves. You know why I used to get on my, because you're always right. I'm like, what do you mean I'm always right? She said, yeah, man, you get, that thing used to wind me up so much because whatever you say, you end up being right. And I was looking at her, and what happened actually was that her brother called her, and her brother did not know that I was listening to, I've got 4 children, and her brother did not know I was listening to him. And her brother, who's my first son, younger than her, he went, you know what, sis, Dad was right. Dad was right. So she came off the phone. She came off the phone and she said, yeah, Dad, you're always right. And then for the first time, I told her why it always seems I'm right. The reason why it seems like I'm always right, it's not a gimmick. It's just the fact that I live my life by principles. Principles are infallible in this world. Methods are temporary, while principles are permanent. Go for the permanent. So whenever I talk to my kids, they don't know that I'm always talking on only principles. I'm always telling them things. I'm never telling them methods, because I know that methods will be applicable today, will not be applicable tomorrow.
So what are examples of principles?
Okay, example of principle like that we shared with you on the video. I always tell my children, pay the price for the price. So don't expect anything to work without you working it. That's a principle. Another principle is there's no shortcut to anywhere worth going. Don't be distracted by shortcuts, because see, methods will work today. That's a gimmick. Principles are permanent. So again, we're talking about principles of reading. You see, that is infallible. You can't mess with that, because it's a principle of what goes in comes out. So don't expect great things to come from you if you've not put great things in. That's another principle. So another principle, there are many principles, Mr. Clay. I hope do you want more?
Yeah, well, I want all of them, because because we can't leave anything for chances, because most people, when you speak to them, they don't see those things as principles. What you're saying there, they don't. I mean, reading. Like so you just said, like reading. What you put in, is what you bring out. Most people think they're reading. They read the newspaper, then they read the Bible, and they think they're reading, but the fruits, what they're bringing out, is not so sweet. Let me just use those words.
Thank you. Let me just piggyback on that thing that you just said there about they're reading newspaper, they're reading this, they're reading that. Now, the principle still works. Whether you read something good or you read something bad, the principle still works. It's just that when I'm simplifying it, oversimplifying it by saying good or bad. But let's still go with that for now. Because again, see, guess what? If you're reading the newspaper and you're listening to the news all the time, the principle will still work. The only problem now, though, is that you will be fearful of everything, because all you've put into yourself is negative. All you've put into yourself is negative. Oh, someone died, someone was killed, someone was robbed. You're watching the news, you're reading the newspaper, they're telling you this company is going down, that company is going down, that country is going to nuke the other country. So the principle, you're doing a principle, but the information you're putting in, what will come out is someone that is afraid, someone that is fearful, someone that is jittery, someone that believes the world is going to end.
Or in today's world, most people are reading Facebook, Twitter.
Okay, thank you. All right, okay, thank you. All right. Now, Facebook now. I have a Facebook channel. Oh, sorry, Facebook page. And on my Facebook page, if you go on there, it's only about things that are empowering that I put on there. And because of that's the only thing I put on there, things that are inspiring, things that edify me, things that pick me up. That is what Facebook suggests. And because Facebook suggests that, my world is filled with positive things. I'm reading positive things. So what comes out of me is positive. Now, if you look at it intricately, even Facebook is doing the same thing, because what they're doing is that they're looking at what is it that your majority spending your time on, and the algorithm is suggesting more of that. So be careful again what you put in, even into Facebook, because that is what Facebook will bring back to you.
Hmm. Hmm.
So again, the principle of whatever you, so I wrote a book, it's like maybe 12 years ago now, maybe 11, 12 years ago now, called You Can Change Your World. Why I titled that book You Can Change Your World is because you really can. Because whatever you put into your world as per information will go into you, resonate out, and it will attract other people of the same thing.
Hmm.
So if you leave, I call the programming then, if you leave the programming to anybody to program you, then what you're doing is that you're letting anybody to just put garbage into you. You have no control, so your life will be out of control.
Hmm.
But if you say, no, I want control of my life, this is the end product I want for my life. I want my life to be peaceful. I
Hmm.
want my life to be great. I
Hmm.
want my life to be wonderful.
Hmm.
Okay, so that means that I have to actually control what I let come into my life. How does it come into my life? By what I see, by
Hmm.
what I hear,
Hmm.
by what I spend my time into.
Hmm.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I've been doing it for 30 years. Guess what? The moment I wake up in the morning, I don't even leave myself for myself. I plug into something positive straight away. Secret, I'll tell you now. I listen to conversations we've got to start the day just to remind me that you want a wonderful life, don't you?
Hmm.
Okay, boom, start with that. And that sets the tone of the day.
Now you are a master now. So you're like constantly surrounding yourself, watching what's coming inside you,
Mhm,
watching what's being fed to you, because
mhm,
you're ordering your input so you can
mhm,
order your output.
mhm, mhm,
And there are others, there's some that are just beginning on this journey.
mhm.
I remember when I started, they said we must minimum 30 minutes a day
Yeah,
on something positive, on something inspirational. Are you doing 30 minutes a day?
I'm doing far more than 30 minutes a day.
Can you
No,
survive on 30 minutes a day?
the funny thing is that I've actually even caught myself sometimes.
Hmm.
I've caught myself, I'm kind of feeling down.
Hmm.
And I'm naturally, quite naturally on an even keel, I'm a happy person.
Hmm.
But sometimes I even dip below. Most of the time I'm really high, but sometimes I dip.
Hmm.
And guess what? I catch myself, hang on, I'm feeling kind of down. I go,
Hmm.
go and go and listen to something or go and pick up a book. And guess what? At that moment, the thought will come, nah, man, I can't be bothered, man. Oh. Because at that moment, even the depression or the downside can be a bit sadomasochistically sweet. You want to
Hmm.
wallow in it. So
Hmm.
you're kind of like there's an inertia to make you want to stay in your downness. But guess what I do? Discipline then kicks in. No, get up, go and get that thing down, plug it in, go and get that book, start reading. And I do it.
Hmm.
5, 10 minutes later, I'll be like, why was I feeling down in the first place? For the life of me, I don't know.
Hmm.
So what I'm saying is that dark clouds will come and go. But guess what? Like Mr. Clay said, I now order my life. I discipline myself. Again, the inertia is still there. It never goes. But yes, I agree. The inertia is smaller for me now than it was years ago. But it's still there. And I can still choose to wallow in something, but I don't even dare wallow anymore. You know why? Because in the final analysis, this is what I found about negative, especially when you're trying to build something positive. There is no value in negative than to show you what positive is.
Wow.
The only value in negative is to show you what positive is. That's it.
Wow. Say that again and expand on that, please. Because I don't want to miss it.
I found that it's like you, what is the value in you rummaging in a bin of rotten food and everything? What's the value? Because you are looking for one clean piece of pea. You're looking for one piece of rice that is clean. You're looking in it? There's no value in that than to tell you, don't wallow in beans. Get out of the bin. Go and cook fresh rice. Go and cook fresh rice. So the bin is there, the negative is there to show you, don't even go there. You need to be going the opposite direction. That's why I said the only value in negative is to show you where positive is.
Some people might say, oh, that's wasting food. Although it's bad, you can wash it. You can always clean it up.
The beautiful
And you can
thing
spend
about
the time to take the dirt out of the food.
the beautiful thing about the universe is this, again, and this is another video. Imagination is very powerful, and what a blessing we human beings have to have imagination. Whatever you experience can become your imagined. Whatever you experience is from your imagined reality. So you could say waste food, very good thing. You see, you might, right now, I eat very well, probably even too well, because I'm putting on weight. And I realize it's because of this idea that you don't want to waste food, that I'd rather put food that should be going into the bin and putting it into my body. And it's not creating problems. I know people in Nigeria will be like, what the Look, when I came to the UK and I saw some turkey as big as my arm, they plunked it on my face, on my plate, and I ate it. That's when you know that after you do that for a while, that becomes a problem.
Everything in moderation.
Everything in moderation. So even in the world, some people say, I want to be so rich. Yes, no matter how rich you are. If you don't eat in moderation, it will cause problems. You will spend that money on your hospital bills.
Exactly. Yes.
So again, like Mr. Clay keeps saying, as we keep talking, other topics just keep popping up that we can talk about, But one of the things that he said is that he called me a master. And I humbly hear him calling me a master. I'm just on a journey. Okay. And on that journey, you get better, you get stronger, you get wiser, and all we're encouraging you. Honestly, the Mr. Phil that you're meeting today is not the Mr. Phil that was here 10 years ago, not the Mr. Phil that was here 20 years. Does that mean I don't have the challenges of today? Of course I have my challenges, but guess what? I welcome them. You know why I welcome them? Because I know that those are the very things that make me better. There was a time when challenges come, let me out of there. Why me? Why me? And then
yes, and people are like that today.
Yes.
Am I cursed? Do I need to go back to church? Are the villagers after me? Why is it continuous challenges?
Thank you.
But you're getting excited about your challenges.
When challenge comes, I'm like, okay, what am I going to learn from this?
Wow.
What is the great new strength I'm going to gain from this? I don't see it as a negative anymore.
How is this going to help me grow?
How is it going to help me grow? What am I going to notice now from this challenge that I never noticed before? So I'm like, whoa, okay. It's not like I'm looking for it, but when it comes, my attitude is completely different. I'm like, okay, let's deal with this. All right, okay, let's take notes. I went that way, I got slammed. Okay, don't go that way again. All right, how about this way? Okay, this person said this, that person said that. Okay, now I know this is how this thing. So that's how I see challenges now.
So is that a principle?
That's another. Well, we could call it the principle of challenges. Challenges are sent to make you better, not to make you worse. Start seeing challenges as an encouragement.
As a blessing.
As a blessing. So you're not saying the challenge itself is a blessing. No, the result of the challenge on you is what is the blessing, what it makes you become. So you may be in Nigeria saying, there is nothing here. Everything is fault. I need to get out because we're cursed. Okay. The story is told about, I'll quickly say this story, then I'll hand it to Mr. Clay. There was a shoe manufacturer, and they wanted to sell their shoes. So they found out that, okay, everybody in the UK, in America already knows about their shoes. So they sent someone to India to go and see the prospects of them selling their shoes in India. So the guy got to India and he sent message back to head office. He said, don't even bother. I've been in India for 3 months. I've not seen anyone wear a shoe. They don't wear shoes here.
In India.
Don't even bother. Send me ticket, come back. Done. So they sent the guy ticket, he came back. Then they sent, in their wisdom, they sent somebody else. The guy got there 6 hours later, sent them a telegram. He said, oh my goodness, send containers and containers and containers of as many containers of shoes you can send, male, female, because nobody's wearing shoes here. So the moral of the story is this: someone went and saw challenges and problems. And another person went and saw only opportunity. Which one would you see? Mr. Clay?
Wow. So the scenario, the situation exactly the same. No change.
No.
It's just what he saw. And what you see is not what you're seeing, but it's what's inside of you.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Right there. Right there.
Because what you're experiencing this world from what's inside. Which is why you have to cultivate what's inside. And continuously cultivate it.
Mr. And how do we cultivate it, Mr. Clay? How do we cultivate it?
Personal development. By the books, by the tapes, by hanging around with people with similar mindset. Because birds of the same feather flock together.
I think that's where we should end this. Because when you say birds of the same feather flock together, what you're talking about is people that resonate with each other.
Yes.
Flock together. So, if this video has resonated with you, share it with others. Share it not for Mr. Phil or Mr. Clay. Share it because you need people around you that will resonate with you. Watch the videos over and over and over again, because this now becomes what becomes your input so that you can have a positive output. And then it goes beyond that. When you start sharing it, you start seeing other people that value what you value come around you. And then you can now together link hands and become stronger. Right now, you might be living where everyone and everything around you is negative. Guess what? You now start building the positive around you, not only in information, but in people, like-minded people like you. Okay? I'm here for you. Mr. Clay is here for you.
Definitely.
Have you noticed that we're not asking you for money? Why are we not asking you for money? Because we understand that
you don't have any, basically. No, just joking.
Mr. Clay is always low-key funny. You know, the reason why we're not asking you money, apart from you not having any, is because our motive here is to help someone like we are helped. we have been helped by someone sharing with us, and we will share stories of Mr. Clay. We share stories of what we experienced with Simon.
Most definitely, with our mentors, yes, along the
Our
way.
mentors. Simon, honestly, God bless Simon wherever he is right now. We will tell you stories about Simon. He probably does not even know the impact he had in our lives. He doesn't even know the impact he has in my life, that my children are benefiting now.
Exactly.
My children's friends are benefiting from it. So we don't need your money. Neither we don't. Okay, you might thank us. That's great. But guess what? Our greatest thank is just to pass it forward.
See you and see you on your own journey.
See you on your own journey. On that note, here's Mr. Phil signing up.
And here's Mr. Alea signing off too. Have a wonderful evening. God bless. Bye.
God bless. Bye.